So eventually, Daniel Faulkingham will get in here. He said he'll be here in a minute. It's been like 3 minutes, buddy. Like late. Oh, there he is. Hold on,
Hello, hello.
Daniel. How are you? Can you hear me? Oh, his mic's muted.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Hello,
You got
hello.
me?
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello?
I got you. I got you. You got me.
Good. Yeah, I got you.
All right.
Right.
Well, welcome to the show, Daniel.
Thank you. I'm sorry I don't have a face cam, but
Oh man, I gotta get one of those, man.
yeah, it's like I'll remember next time if I come on the show again.
Well, first off, Daniel, we weren't sure we were going to be talking about, but we're going to be talking about now. First off, I want to congratulate you on your first career Nork win this past Tuesday night.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, the broadcast that raised and seeing you get that win. And what's even better is that because of that win, you're locked into the championship 4 race next Tuesday night for North. So, what's your expectations for next Tuesday night at Chicagoland Speedway to go after this championship?
Yeah, I know it's gonna be hard because we got a pretty stout championship 4. I mean, you got Ben Nelson, who's won like 7 races this year. You got Justin Lisenby, who he's been on par this year, and then you got Jared, who's always been good in the North League, pretty much. And Chicago, I think, is one of his really good tracks, too. So I think we got a pretty stout championship 4. So it's going to be hopefully we can stay out of trouble because, as you saw in my entire playoff run, it hasn't gone too particularly well. But I capped it all off with the win at Iowa. So, yeah, I know it's going to be difficult, but I'm going to give it my all.
So, yeah, I want to go back to Tuesday night. That whole race at Iowa, it seemed like for a little while, it was Jason Jacoby's race or Justin Lisenby's or Benjamin Nelson's for a little bit, and you were hanging around 4th or 5th, or sometimes it would even get up to 3rd at some points of the race. Tell us through what that race was like for you, and then afterwards we'll talk about the final laps.
Yeah, the car overall, and with it Iowa being at nighttime too, just the car was super tight, pretty much, and the car was like glued to the racetrack, which I personally like because the car was on rails, and Ben, who, like I said earlier, who was probably the best car in this whole league right now, he had so much difficulties in that race. He just was so tight because I remember we were talking in the team speak during the race. He just could not figure out a way to break it loose because driving loose is his general driving style. So I think that's what helped all of us because we normally like to have a pretty stable car. Well, at least me. I don't know how about everyone else, but I know Ben really likes to drive really loose race cars. So yeah, I think that's what gave us the upper hand. And yeah, so overall, the car suited me really well. And then played a little pit strategy there towards the end of the race and kind of actually put me in that position to go for the win.
So going into the final laps, you stayed out. It seemed like no, well, you didn't stay up, but you took like 2 tires, and you were just able to hold everybody off behind you. What was going through your mind in those final laps, thinking that I may have the car to win this race, but you also got like 2 or 3 other fast drivers behind you. So walk us through your emotions in those final laps to go for that victory.
Yeah, it was like after the 2 tire calls, like I was getting pretty nerve-wracking because Justin was really fast, I think, overall in the long run. And just with Iowa and it being night, just so hard to pass because the track is pretty much high line dominant, especially in 3 and 4. 1 and 2, you can use the bottom a little bit, but it's generally high line dominant. So, yeah, that's what helped me hold on to the lead for like so many laps. So I'm proud of myself for taking that 2 tire call, even though we only did like 10 laps on the tires before we pitted. So, yeah, that really played into me trying to get the win. And then I got pretty lucky when I missed the big one, like when Ben, Justin, Cody, and Jason all wrecked out. I mean, I had to thread the needle. I do not know how I made that work, but yeah, it pretty much helped me get to victory lane.
So obviously, you're locked into the championship for next Tuesday night, and of course, going back before the race at Iowa, you've struggled through the entire playoffs. Like you seemed like you were involved in a lot of wrecks out of your control, and just things did not go your way. But you just had enough to where whether you got enough stage points or just other playoff drivers having issues out on the racetrack, that you just barely enough to make it. You barely made it into the round of 8, and now with the win in the round of 8, that final race before the championship race, you got yourself locked into the championship 4. And in those past races in the playoffs, were you starting to get a little concerned about if you were ever going to even have a chance in the championship, or like did you at all get frustrated at times?
Yeah. After the first race at Homestead, it's like, oh, I mean, it's first race. I know we can come back from this. Then after I got wrecked out at Daytona's, then yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm getting frustrated. The pressure's starting to really build on me. And then I had a okay race at Bristol, but I had an incident with Jason on a late race restart. But I think the only reason why I made it as far as I did is Sean Williams, who had a hurricane come through his area, and he wasn't able to race Bristol, which was the last race in the round of 12. And all I had to do was beat Tom Mercier and Aaron Smith. That's all who I was racing to get to the round of 8. So I managed to get the most stage points out of all of them, and I got bonus point for leading the lap too. And Aaron had wrecked out of the race, and Tom finished only a few positions ahead of me. So that's what pretty much took me to the round of 8. And then I had a really good run at Atlanta. I got caught up in a few wrecks on the restarts, and then I decided to stay out on the last restart, which helped me get like top 10 finish, like 6th place finish. And then the last race, well, it was on and off for me at Indianapolis, and then I gave myself nose damage because I was running top 5, top 10, and then I gave myself nose damage at Indianapolis, and then that set me in the back of the field. And then I got collected in another incident with people trying to take each other out, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what happened. And then so I had to come in and have a good race at Iowa. But I was still in the top 4. So that kind of took some of the pressure off of me. So I just had to go out there and have just to win the race at probably my worst track on the calendar. Just made it even sweeter.
So Rudy and I talked about that, with all the shows you had during the playoffs, and then of course you got Benjamin Nelson, Justin Lightspeed, Jared Darling, he's great North. Do you feel like you're considered yourself as an underdog to go out there and win this championship?
Absolutely, because I know Ben and Justin and Jared. I know for myself, like I said, this is my first season. This is Justin's first full-time season. This is Ben's first full-time season, where Jared has probably the most experience out of all of us since he's competed in the most seasons. So he knows what it's like to go after a championship like he did the last 2 years in the trucks and Xfinity cars the last 2 seasons. So I consider Ben the favorite because he has the most wins and he's been really consistent. I'd say Justin is up there with him too, and Jared I'd say would probably go in there as the most experienced. So I definitely call myself the underdog going into the championship race. So hopefully I can make it a feel-good story. Hopefully the underdog can go out there and go win himself a title.
So I want to ask you first off, what made you decide that you want to, obviously you've been on iRacing for a while now, but what was the decision what was that moment like when you decided that, you know what, I want to join the Nork Series. I want to give it a try and stuff. So what made you think that I'm gonna try to apply for Nork? And so what? Tell us your reason to join Nork.
Yeah, it was pretty much when you started the Laura League, and I wanted to enter that. And plus, a lot of the Nork drivers came over and raced that. So, and plus, I was a big fan of watching Sean's live streams of him doing the Nork races and watching his CrashCom videos before I came to Laura. And once I got a few races into Laura, and once I started to know the Nork guys a lot better, I started joining their team speak, and I was actually doing a few NIS or the NASCAR iRacing Series races with them. And that just helped me gain more and more experience to race with these guys, and I'm knowing these guys a lot more too. So it's I think it was the week of when we did the Coca-Cola 600 on iRacing. I was you know what? And I think I remember Jared asking me during NIS at Richmond. He asked me if I was going to join Nork, and I was I'm not sure. I'm still thinking about it. And then I think it was like a week or two before the season started at Daytona. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I sent in an application on iRacing to Newark to Revan or John, who is the league owner. And I got accepted, and here I am.
So, obviously, you just got into Newark. You just applied. Did you feel like what was your expectations before the season? Like, did you feel that you wasn't sure how you were going to perform, and like, what kind of level of performance you were going to have? Like, was the your was your I mean, how do you say? Was your expectations better than you expected, or do you feel like you still need some more learning to do to get ready even for next season?
Yeah, I was like, at this point, I am definitely a better driver than I was at the start of the season. A lot, definitely by a lot more. So, but yeah, it's like this was just a learning year. My main expectation for me was to make the playoffs, which I did. So, and overall, I was in top 5 in points when the playoffs started. Is like maybe I could give a run for these give a run get a run at these guys. I'm messing up my words here, but yeah, it's like once I made the playoffs, then my next focus was to go to the round of 8 and then possibly make the championship 4. And plus, like I said, we're racing a lot of really good guys. Like you got Femi Olat, Freddie De La Rosa, and some of the pro drivers that come in, like Bobby Zelensky, Marcus Richardson, and all those guys. So, yeah, it's definitely I've completed almost my expectations, but I would like to go out and win a championship, which I know will be hard to do, but just making it to the championship 4 from where I stand right now is just pretty amazing. So I made all those expectations. I really necessarily didn't want to win this season, but once I knew I could run up front and try to battle these guys, then that expectation started that, okay, I want to go win a race. And it was starting to get towards the end of the season. It's like, I don't know, this might not happen because I don't got some really good tracks coming up. So, but then I made it happen on Tuesday night, get my first career win, which meant a lot to me. So, and now we're going out race for a championship.
I do want to ask you: is there anything else that you still feel like you need to learn before you move on? And I mean, obviously, you still got a race left to go. You got the important race, the championship race, and you want to go out there and win a championship. But is there any other things that you still need to work on for the North Series to maybe get better for next season?
Yeah. Overall, what I need to work on most is qualifying because these races, even though it's Newark, we do have a lot of caution fast from time to time, but when you race like the same people every week, you know how they drive, and you can get a lot of excuse me, we get a lot of green flag racing. So my key is try to have that track position at the start of the race. So I need to improve on that, and I really need to improve on my long run speed too, because I'm known for being more of a short run person because I just want to go out and go after it early. And so, yeah, long runs is what I need to work on the most because I always run the tires off at the end of every run. So I have to short pit early, which puts me off sequence with a lot of people. So, yeah, a lot of things I need to work on, but I can put that in the next season. But right now, my main focus is try to put those into the next race, try to go after a championship because I know I'm going to have to qualify good and I'm going to have to be good at long runs if I'm going to have a really good shot at this championship.
Is there any other do you look at other drivers on how they drive the car, and you can take that from what they do and you try to learn it yourself? Do you who do you go to learn just basically how to get around racetracks?
Yeah, I pretty much go to like anybody like when I'm racing them in the team speak. I kind of ask like what line are they running, what brake bias are they using, how deep are they going to the corner, are they backing up the corner? Just so many things that goes into play of trying to be really really good and most importantly be really consistent. So pretty much anybody that I can go to is I can get a lot of help from.
All right. Well, I appreciate your questions. If anybody has any questions for Daniel Faulkingham in chat right now, we would love for him to answer a few questions before he heads out here. Zach, do you have any questions for him at all?
Okay, so Daniel.
Yeah.
What made you become a NASCAR fan? If I can ask.
Yeah. So it all started in July of 2012.
Okay.
We do, like, where I live, there is we do ATV memorial ride for a little girl that lost her life in a car crash.
Ooh.
And they had a raffle. They did like what we call a Chinese raffle, or I think I said that wrong, but some sort of raffle. And one of them was 4 free passes to my local short track that is 2 hours away from here. So I won the passes, and me and my entire family went to the races that night. Or yeah, it was that night, or a few weeks after, and then just seeing all the racing and stuff I was hooked. And then the few months gone by, I went to a few more races, and then that February of 2013, I saw an ad for the Daytona 500. So I wanted to watch that too.
Okay.
And I didn't know a lot about NASCAR back then. I didn't know a lot about the drivers or the teams or the cars, like, because that's the first year they did the Gen 6 cars, right? So, and then I saw that for the first time, and that's when I saw Danica Patrick win the pole, her first ever pole of her career, and being the first woman to sit on the pole for the 500. And then watching that race, because actually a few weeks prior, I wanted to get more known to the sport before I actually started watching the 500. So I think I remember my dad telling me about Dale Earnhardt Sr., and he told me about how he was killed in the same race a few years prior, like back in 2001. So yeah, Earnhardt, that name just stuck to me for quite a long time. So, and I saw there was Dale Earnhardt Jr., who was still in the Cup Series then. And then that he just became my favorite driver since, and then I'd watch him every week. And the first win the first race I got to see him win was the following year, the 2014 Daytona 500. So then ever since I became a fan. So it was rough being a Dale Jr. fan the last 2 years in 16 and 17 when he had the concussion and he had to leave the season, and then didn't have a great 2017 season his last year. And then seeing him race once again at Richmond a few weeks ago in the Xfinity race, I mean, that was cool to see. I really wanted him to win, but it is what it is. So pretty much how it all started, and then I've just been hooked ever since.
Okay.
All right. Well, Daniel Faulkingham, I do want to thank you for joining the talk show today. And of course, wish you the best of luck next Tuesday night in the Nordic iRacing Series. And go after a championship. Me and Rudy will be up in the broadcast booth, just be broadcasting the race, and maybe hopefully we'll talk to you. Not just, let's say, if you win the race or even finish second, but hopefully be the highest finishing championship for a driver. Hopefully, we'll talk to you after you possibly win the championship. So best of luck to you, Daniel, and hopefully we'll have you back on the show again very soon.
Thank you guys for the opportunity, and hopefully the next time if I do come back, I will have a face cam so you can see my beautiful face. All right?
All right. Hey, before you go, is there anybody you want to thank, let's say, whether on iRacing or what you do?
Yeah, let's see. Who can I thank? I got to thank you and Rudy, who do the broadcast for the races every night on Max Speed TV, or on Tuesday nights on Max Speed TV. I gotta thank John, or we could call him Revan, for doing the North League. He does a really good job with it, and I hope this can be a big league that will go far in iRacing. And I actually got to thank your mom, who actually invited me to come on to the talk show and giving me this opportunity. So, and pretty much thank everybody in the North League who I get to race each and every week. They are really awesome racers. I've had my ups and downs with them plenty of times, but yeah, I like to get along with them. And most importantly, thank you to all the fans who tune in each and every week to our races and who tune into the live streams and talk shows. They make it all possible.
All right, Daniel. Well, I'm excited to race with you again on the track next season in Newark. But again, best of luck to you next Tuesday night, and hopefully we'll see you with that championship next Tuesday night.
Yeah, I'm going to go after it. All right, thank you, guys.
Yeah, take care. Have a good night.
Right.
Yep, you too. Thanks.
Daniel Faulkingham, Newark iRacing NASCAR Series driver in the Nordic iRacing Series. He is a Championship 4 driver going for a championship next Tuesday night. If you guys want to follow Daniel Faulkingham on the social media sites, the social media sites are in chat right now. He has a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So if you would like to follow him, get to know more about Daniel Faulkingham, you're more welcome to. Also, wish Daniel Faulkingham the best of luck next Tuesday night as he raced for a championship next week. But yeah, he was a winner this past Tuesday night at Iowa. Got his first Nordic iRacing win. Really good guy. I feel like he's got a lot of potential in his future. This is his first full-time season in the Nordic iRacing Series, and I feel he'll definitely be a driver to get some more wins, and maybe hopefully next Tuesday night. But if not, I feel like he could be a championship one of these seasons.